When you look at Resident Evil 4, especially the remake, it already feels like a technical benchmark for survival horror. The lighting, the detail in character models, the environmental density. It's hard to imagine how Capcom could push the franchise even further, but that's exactly why something like Resident Evil Requiem is so exciting to think about. Because if RE4 Remake represents refinement, Requiem could represent evolution. Let's start with graphics. Resident Evil 4. Remake runs on the RE engine, and even today it's one of the most optimized engines in the industry. The dynamic lighting in the village at night, the way fog rolls through the trees, the hyper-detailed facial animations during close-up cutscenes, it all feels grounded and tactile. Now imagine Resident Evil Requiem pushing that same engine to its next-generation form. We're talking full ray-traced global illumination as a baseline feature, not just optional reflections. Real-time shadow bounce from candlelight in claustrophobic corridors, subsurface scattering on skin that reacts dynamically to shifting light sources. In RE4, environments are detailed, but mostly static. In Requiem, we could see fully destructible interiors, walls splintering under heavy enemy attacks, furniture reacting dynamically to physics, debris interacting with real-time lighting. That alone would massively increase immersion. Performance-wise, RE4 Remake already balances visual fidelity and smooth gameplay incredibly well. On current-gen consoles, it targets 60 FPS with impressive stability. But Requiem could push for 120 FPS modes with smarter upscaling like FSR3 or even next-gen AI reconstruction tech. Frame pacing is something Capcom has quietly mastered. RE4 rarely stutters, even during intense combat sequences with multiple enemies. For Requiem to feel truly next-gen, it would need not just higher frame rates, but perfect frame consistency. Horror relies on responsiveness. Every dodge, every parry, every split-second reaction matters. And then there's character detail. Leon in RE4 Remake has incredible micro-expressions. You can see tension in his jaw, subtle eye movement during cutscenes. But imagine Requiem with full performance capture at film-level fidelity. Individual muscle simulation in the face, real-time sweat buildup during high-stress sequences, dirt accumulating dynamically during gameplay instead of being scripted. That kind of evolution would blur the line between cinematic and gameplay. Let's talk about environments. Resident Evil 4 is segmented: village, castle, island. Each area is handcrafted, dense, and atmospheric, but technically, they're still structured in semi-linear zones. Requiem could introduce seamless world streaming, no visible loading transitions, entire regions rendered continuously with background simulation running in real time, enemies patrolling dynamically even when you're not in the immediate area. Imagine hearing distant gunshots echo through a valley, not as scripted audio, but as part of a dynamic system reacting to events happening in real time. Now, audio design. RE4 Remake already uses incredible spatial audio. You can pinpoint enemies by sound alone. But Requiem could push into advanced 3D audio modeling where sound travels differently based on room geometry. Gunshots muffled realistically through walls, footsteps changing based on surface material density, echo decay calculated in real time depending on room size. These technical upgrades dramatically impact immersion in horror. AI is another huge area. In RE4, enemy AI is reactive and coordinated, but mostly predictable once you learn patterns. Requiem could evolve this into adaptive AI systems, enemies that remember your tactics. If you rely heavily on headshots, they start wearing improvised protection. If you barricade doors often, they break windows instead. Technically, this would require more background processing, but modern hardware can handle far more complex AI routines than what we saw in RE4. Now let's talk physics and gore systems. RE4. Remake has impressive dismemberment and impact reactions, but imagine Requiem introducing fully dynamic procedural damage. Bullet wounds appearing exactly where shots land, with layered tissue simulation, environmental blood splatter reacting to surface texture and gravity in real time. That's not just visual flair, that's next-level immersion. Lighting deserves its own category. In RE4, darkness is atmospheric, but mostly controlled. Requiem could introduce full dynamic darkness systems, areas where light sources are destructible, plunging entire sections into pitch-black environments rendered with physically accurate shadow simulation. Imagine shooting out a light and watching shadows shift realistically across walls, revealing movement you didn't notice before. And then there's performance scalability. RE4. Remake scales impressively across platforms, from PS4 to high-end PCs. For Requiem, Optimize ASD Wi-Fi RE4. Remake scales impressively across platforms, from PS4 to high-end PCs. For Requiem, optimization will be key. Advanced LOD systems, smarter asset streaming, texture compression techniques that allow ultra-high-resolution assets without overwhelming VRAM. Capcom's RE engine has proven it can deliver both beauty and efficiency. Requiem could be the ultimate stress test for that engine. Now let's compare atmosphere. RE4 leans into action horror. It's tense but explosive. Requiem, just judging by the name, suggests something darker, more somber. That tonal shift would benefit from slower camera work, more deliberate animations, and heavier environmental storytelling. Technically, that means longer, more detailed animation blending. Slower pacing requires smoother transitions between gameplay states, walking, aiming, interacting, all without visible snapping or animation pops. Finally, immersion. Resident Evil 4 still has traditional HUD elements, ammo counters, health bars, interface overlays. Requiem could move toward diegetic UI, information embedded naturally into the world, maybe health indicated through character breathing patterns, ammo checks shown through physical weapon inspections. That kind of design shift requires tight technical polish. Every animation must be precise. Every state change must be seamless. So when we compare Resident Evil 4 to a potential Resident Evil Requiem, we're not just talking about prettier graphics. We're talking about fully dynamic lighting systems, advanced AI behavior, real-time physics destruction, film-level performance capture, perfect frame pacing, seamless world streaming procedural damage systems, next-gen audio simulation. RE4 was refinement. Requiem could be transformation. And if Capcom continues evolving the RE engine the way they've done over the past few years, Resident Evil Requiem might not just be the next entry in the series. It could be the most technically advanced survival horror game ever made.